Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And I was just doing a review on my review channel, and I reviewed the Dapper Dog box, which is a dog subscription box. And it was a little bit harder for me to do than I thought it would be. And when I got done with it, I was kind of like putting the box in there. And, you know, when I had originally ordered these dog subscription boxes, I had planned to, you know, have it be Pee-Pee and Boo and Tucker. And, you know, Pee-Pee was always kind of at the forefront of doing the videos and stuff. And so it felt like, I think his absence was felt while I was doing it. And when I was done with the video and I was putting the box in the kitchen and putting the treats away and stuff like that, like it really hit me. As I'm doing this video, Boo Radley is literally staring right at me. Aren't you, Betty? He said, I'm taking care of you now, Dad. I'm taking care of you. So, but anyway, I kind of got like really teary-eyed as I was walking around, and now Tucker's over here. And I just was having a hard time with it, you know? And so when I went in to go grab the meditation books, I grabbed the meditation book on grief that somebody gave me years and years ago after my mom passed away. A good friend of mine who had lost her son gave this book to me, and it's called Healing After Loss, Daily Meditations for Working Through Grief. And I've read it a couple times on here. But I just wanted to show kind of in action what I do sometimes, like when I'm struggling with something in my life. I like go to, you know, a meditation book, or I call my sponsor, or I go to one of the tools that I have that, you know, helps me in those situations. So I started reading this meditation, and I thought this is actually a really good meditation for me to hear myself and to kind of talk about my feelings out loud. So I'm going to read the meditation. And then I'll talk about it afterwards. I didn't read the whole thing before. And you can see this is, I haven't like done a whole lot of work in this book through the years. It's a pretty, you know, like it's still pretty intact. I think today actually, because it's like 3:19, I'm getting my videos done early. I think that I am going to go and try to buy some new meditation books. We're actually, tonight, we're going over to Alex's best friend's house, and we're gonna do like our goals for 2020 and stuff. So I'm real excited about that. I'll probably be sharing those. Well, some of them with you. Okay, January 11th. You could put the meaning of original sin this way. Given a choice, we would rather sulk than rejoin the party. Robert Farrar Capone. Often with loss, especially if it has been sudden and untimely, we are tempted to dig our heels in, excuse me. Often with loss, especially if it has been sudden and untimely, we are tempted to dig in our heels at the last moment before the loss occurred. We will resist. We do not consent. It is a way of trying to hold on to the loved one, the person we knew before tragedy struck. It is also a form of denial. To rejoin life is to accept what has happened, but it is unacceptable. We will hold our breath, living in a suspended state of non-compliance until the universe relents, changes its mind, or at least apologizes, acknowledging its crime. This will not happen. It is we who will be bypassed, better, as soon as possible, to realize that the terms are different now and begin to live in this changed reality. Anger is okay. Denial will hurt no one but me and those I love. You know, when this whole situation happened, I felt denial in a way that I had really never felt before with any other loss that I have ever experienced in my life, which is so strange. You know, it was like, I think I wouldn't necessarily say I have aware denial, you know, like if you asked me, like, if he was gone, I would say yes, obviously. But I mean, like, I think it's like programmed, you know, like actually, the family, the mother of this family, I remember the father said to me, I was very close with this family whose son passed away, and I remember the father said to me that he would like wake up at the beginning, like the first, you know, couple months, and he would have forgotten that is Boo Radley. Are you going to find your little circle back there where you can, circle meets a square, look at him. You know, but the father would say to me, I would say, like, what's one of the hardest things? And he would say, like, I wake up every day and I forgot that, like, he's, you know, then I have to, like, kind of relive it all over again. And I think that's kind of the thing for me a little bit with Pee-Pee. It's like I get up and I look over and, you know, Boo and Tucker are there and things like that. And then I kind of, like, I don't know, it's like it hits me all over again. So it's not necessarily like I'm in denial. You're so sweet, honey. You are just absolutely so sweet. It's not like I'm necessarily in denial. It's just, I forget sometimes. I think what this meditation is really, alluding to is that I think that we feel that there is some crime in allowing ourselves to move on. And I will say this, I don't know at what point with my mother, my mother in my life, obviously, I talk a lot about her passing. It's been the most difficult passing I've ever dealt with in my life, okay? I don't know at what point I allowed myself to start having fun again or living my life or having moments of joy. I don't remember. But I don't also remember her coming down and condemning me for it. I really don't. You know what I mean? Like, life went on. And I think the reality is that whether we like it or not, life is going to go on. And we have to kind of enjoy those moments, it would be really easy for me to stay stuck in the week prior to PP passing, and because I think for some reason, if I'm there, then he's forever alive, if that makes sense. And if I go back to that and I keep it's like, have you ever felt stuck in a certain place in time? It's like, if I can go back there and I can just kind of stay stuck there forever. This is a really actually a good point, So we had this trip planned, and we almost canceled it, right? And then, we were like, what are we gonna do? Just sit around here and be sad? And Alex, we were we were literally in the bed, and he goes, I can't be here. I'm so sad. And so we were like, let's move on. It's like, what are we supposed to do, And I think that in those moments, you have to realize that, life is going to continue to happen. I was talking to my friend Tanya about it the other day, and she was like, people in my life have passed that are very, very important to me, family members, and I had to go back to work the next day. I had no choice. I had no, options. And that was years and years and years ago, before she owned her own business. Now that she owns her own business, I have witnessed my best friend, she has lost close family members and friends before, and she's had to go into work that afternoon because she owns her own business, and who's going to take care of it if she's not there? You know what I mean? And life goes on, and I think it's really, really tough, and I think we are the most unforgiving of ourselves. We are the most, I think, damning of ourselves in those situations, and we beat ourselves up, and we blame ourselves for going on and having a laugh, or enjoying a funny movie, or enjoying if you go out and have a drink with your friends, or whatever you do, or me going to a meeting and laughing with my friends. It's like, I think we condemn ourselves for that. You shouldn't be happy for a moment. Yeah, we should, And I think in respecting the passing, we have to respect the living, A day does not go by that isn't missed on me that life is a true gift. A true, true gift, right? I look back at my history, and there are many moments that I should not be here right now, So I look at that and I think to myself, life is really, really a gift. My recovery is a gift, and life is a gift, And I don't want to just, let it go by and not pay homage to this amazing gift that I was giving. I do think it's important to take the time that we need and to feel moments of sadness. And for me, it's weird. It hasn't been this constant wave of sadness. Well, the first couple days were, Alex and I were we just felt completely just numb. I didn't even, I don't really even, to be honest with you, this is gonna sound crazy, but us getting, taking our trip, flying there and stuff like that, that whole, morning and flying there and whatever, I don't remember packing, I don't really remember, anything, And what's interesting about this trip is that I'm a heavy packer, and so is my husband. We packed less than we ever pack, on a trip, And, I literally brought, I think I brought 2 bathing suits, but one of them is a short that I wear, and it was just I didn't even really think about it, and I was just in my head, and it was just I don't know, the whole thing just was so bizarre. It just felt so weird, and then now it's I have moments today, it's I sit down and I film a video and I feel pretty good, and then I sit down and then there's a knock at the door and it's the Dapper Dog box, and then, it just takes me there again, or, I was going through, I did a vlog last night where I went through all of these things that, people had sent me at my P.O. box, which was amazing, thank you. And, one thing were all these magnets that somebody had sent me, and one of the pictures was of PP and I have it on, I put it on the refrigerator, and, I saw it late last night when I came back from vlogging, and it just hit me so hard. I just was I miss you, little guy, So it's hard, and I think that you just have to, you have to allow yourself to feel those moments, and not push them away. I've always said that, with my mom. It was some random song would come on, on a Tuesday afternoon or something, or, Wednesday morning. I'm never up in the morning, but, And if I was just like really, really upset about it, I would like pull, you know, over to the side of the road, and I would like allow myself just to feel the pain. It was important for me to feel the pain. And I think that that's it. But I don't think that we should, you know, condemn ourselves and not allow ourselves to live. You know, we only have one life. And I don't think that that means that the next night you need, well, whatever you need to do. You know, if the next night means that you need to go out and you need to party all night long and that's what will make you happy, or you need to go and, you know, buy a new car or buy a new house or buy a new outfit or get your hair cut and redone, whatever makes you happy. I mean, I don't think that there are any rules to grieving, and I don't think it's our place to tell anybody else how to grieve, and I've learned that through the years, you know. I've seen people do some things that I just like, it doesn't make any sense to me, but for them it completely works, you know? And I've grieved differently for every person in my life that has passed away. So I think that there's no rhyme or reason to it. But I think the one thing, the one person that we need to judge the least is ourselves going through that. And I mean, we need to not judge anybody, right? But like, not condemn ourselves for to be laughing at something or whatever. You know, I found myself the first couple days, like, you know, somebody would say something and I would kind of laugh, you know, and I'd be like, I shouldn't laugh, you know, like, I'm still a human being, you know, we're still human beings. So that was a great meditation. That was really, really helpful. Okay, I'm gonna read one more. And this is from Daily Affirmations for Forgiving and Moving On, which I think for all of us, forgiveness, we could learn a little bit more about. I know I could. Okay, trusting the good times, January 11th. Today I am capable of allowing my, because it's January 11th, get it? Okay. Trusting the good times, January 11th. Today I am capable of allowing my life to feel good. My habit pattern from my past has taught me, this is so funny, we just talked about this. My habit pattern from my past has taught me that when life is going well, not to trust it. I unconsciously wait for the bottom to fall out when life feels too good. Fearing what I learned as a child, that it will not last. When I get like this, I do something to mess things up. Just being aware of this is this is a profound meditation, so listen, this is important. Or was I? When I get like this, I do something to mess things up. Self-sabotage. Just being aware of this will help me to ride out the good times, as threatening as they may be. It is the nature of life for nothing to last, good or bad. Good and bad are the judgments we bring. Actually, life is like a constantly changing kaleidoscope series of events presenting themselves over and over again in endless variety. Understanding this makes it easier to step back and enjoy life for what it is. It can give me a stage upon which I enact my play, but it cannot give me meaning. I give life meaning by my attitude toward it. I will flow with the times. The person who does not make a choice makes a choice. Jewish proverb. That is, I love that Jewish proverb. You know, this is such a poignant meditation for me because I grew up in chaos, right? You know, I grew up as the child of an alcoholic. And so when I came home and after school, I never knew what I was coming home to. I was either coming home to mom having sat all afternoon with her friends having drinks and the night was shot, or I came home to chili dinners, Little House on the Prairie, and mom, you know, reading me a book. There was very little in between. You know, on top of that, like having, you know, my parents having gone through a divorce and my mother being very lonely and other things like that, I just grew up in a lot of, she tried her best, okay? Like, I think this is one of the things that we don't say when we're looking down or we're, you know, criticizing people in situations like this. And I'm not making excuses for my mother, and she wouldn't want me to. You know, I one time, years ago, 2 years ago, I got a comment on my vlog and they said something like, your mother would never want you to talk this way about her. My mother absolutely would want me to share the stories of her life because she would want other people to learn from them. And I loved that somebody said that. I thought, how dare you act like you know my mother better than I do, you know? But, you know, the thing is that my mother tried her best. In her life, there was nothing that was more important to her or prouder to her than trying to be the best mother that she could be. The problem with that was that her alcoholism and her lack, and I'm saying this the way that it needs to be said, her lack of, not hers, but others' lack of appropriately diagnosing her with mental health issues and having the appropriate treatment. I'm a huge advocate for appropriate mental health treatment in our country. I think people are misdiagnosed and mistreated every single day, and there's lack of treatment in this country, appropriate treatment. which is scary. It's very, very scary. And I think that had she had those things, I think she could have been the most fantastic mother in the entire world. I think had she gotten sober earlier, I think had she been able to have been dealt with the appropriate treatments that she needed, I think that she could have been the best mother in the entire world. Unfortunately, these things stood in between her and being successful. So she struggled, you know, but she tried her best. And I think the thing is that I grew up in such a state of chaos in my life, you know, that I survive really, really well in chaos. Throw me in the middle of the biggest chaotic environment, right? You know, I worked 13 years in a treatment facility, okay? I mean, I would watch codes happen left and right, you know, and all kinds of craziness happen, and I worked very, very good in that environment. Go work one day in an inpatient residential treatment facility, let alone 13 years, and you kind of realize who you are. You either like come into it and you realize you can handle that stuff, or you realize you can't. And I mean, I just like I was prone to work in that environment because I deal with chaos very, very well. Throw me in chaos 10 years ago and I did fantastic. Throw me in chaos today, I'm not real great at it today. I'm not. And the reason why is because I have worked so hard on having peace and serenity in my life. I do not like chaos. I do not like toxicity. It is not comfortable to me. It is a reminder of my past. So I'm not good at that today. I'm really not. I'm actually kind of scared of chaos, you know? But back in the day, what would happen is things would start going good for me, like relationships. I would be in a relationship and it would start being good for me. And I would start in my head, like questioning myself, like, do I deserve this? I don't deserve this. I don't deserve good things. I don't deserve a good relationship. And then I would do something. I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't even realize that I was doing it. And I would sabotage it. And then they would, like my partner or whoever I was with would say, like, you know, this is years and years ago, but they would say before I got sober and stuff. But even a little bit when I got sober, you know, my partner would say, like, do you even realize what you're doing? I'm like, this is you. I would say, you're doing this. No, you know, because I lived in this world where none of it made sense to me. And then it was like looking at a magic eye picture where all of a sudden it's like this. And I remember doing my inventory, my 4-step inventory in recovery. And it was like all of a sudden I saw all these patterns of my life, you know, emerge of how I had lived as a person for so long. And I was like, oh my God, like I am this person that thrives in chaos, in toxicity. And I sabotage good things from happening to me. And I have to change that tape in my head. I have to say, I no longer want to live in chaos and toxicity, and I have to choose to not live there. And when in the chaos and toxicity, I have to say to myself, you deserve good things. You deserve a good life. You deserve good things. You deserve a good life. And I have to tell myself that, because if not, I am the first one that will sabotage it, and I am the first one that will tell you. Have you ever met somebody and they'll say, I'm a shitty person, whatever. It's like, you know, back in the day, I would say, you know, like when somebody tells you who they are, believe them. They know themselves much better than you do. I don't really believe that as far as the Maya Angelou statement, as far as when somebody tells you that. I believe that means when somebody shows you who they are, okay? Like she says that too down the road, right? But have you ever met the person that will tell you what a crap person they are? That doesn't tell me that that person's a crap person. That person tells me that somewhere along the way, somebody beat into them enough that they weren't a good person and they believed it. Enough people told them in life that they weren't worthy and they believed it, because it was easier to believe that than to believe good things about themselves. And rewiring that tape to start believing in ourselves again is so hard. I mean, it's taken me, I'm 47 and I'm just starting to get there now, you know? It's so hard. And I always talk about this, but it reminds me of the scene in Pretty Woman, you know, when she's laying there and he says, you're so beautiful. And she says the bad stuff is easier to believe. When somebody tells you something long enough, you start to believe it. Or it's easier, you know, you start to believe it. And I think that's true. And I think even if nobody told us, like, you're crap, you don't matter, you're not worthy, if people told us that in the ways that they treated us, okay? For example, me growing up in a home where at times I would walk through the door and I didn't know, like, who mom was, I didn't necessarily feel love in those moments. And so I grew up at times questioning whether I was lovable. On top of that, I'm going to school every day where people are making fun of me and bullying me left and right, and I didn't feel lovable there either. I sometimes look back, you know, and I think to myself, what a miracle it is that I made it this far, you know, in my life. I mean, seriously, and I'm not pitying myself. I truly do feel like that. I'm like, I don't know, maybe I need to, like, I don't pat myself on the back for being a little bit of a stronger person. Sometimes I don't see myself as that strong, you know? I don't know, maybe I'm a little bit more resilient than I ever gave myself credit for. I always did relate to Tina Turner in that Mad Max movie. Remember that movie? So I don't know, maybe I am a little bit like Tina Turner and Master Blaster runs, stun the dome. Do you remember that movie? Anyway, I don't know. I think sometimes we have to find our inner strength and bring it up too. You know, it's not cocky and arrogant to say I am a strong person today. It's not. That doesn't say anything about humility. It just says that is a character trait that I have today. I want to be a strong person. I want to be able to feel my emotions appropriately, but I also don't want things to be able to take me down. And I want to be able to be a strong person and stand on my own 2 feet. And that is who I aim to be. We have to rewire our tapes in our head to believe that we are good people, to believe that we deserve good things and that we're strong enough and we're resilient enough that we can make it through things. So I think one goal for all of us in 2020 should be that we should start talking about ourselves in more positive terms, you know? It's really, really easy to put ourselves down, and when we do, other people will believe it. But if we start lifting ourselves up, people will believe that too. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.